What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my top 10 favorite characters from the Harry Potter franchise. So I've recently reviewed all of the Harry Potter movies and stuff, and before I do my ranking of the movies, I thought I'd go ahead and do this list too, where I rank 10 of my favorite Harry Potter characters, because there are a lot of characters I love in this franchise and stuff, so I thought I'd go ahead and do this. But there's a lot that I wish I could have fit in here that I just can't. There's so many great characters in this franchise, but I had to narrow it down to 10. It was a really hard list to come up with and everything, but I think I wedged out the ones that I like the most and stuff in here. So and most of them aren't in any particular order except for maybe the top, at least the top 3. The rest of them after that are kind of not necessarily in any particular order. I just wrote them down as I was thinking and stuff. So coming in at number 10 is Luna Lovegood. She was introduced in Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, and it's one of the highlights of that movie. I have always loved Luna. I thought she's a really likable character, and she was always one of my favorites in the books, and I absolutely love her in the movies. Evanna Lynch plays her in the movies, and she does an excellent job playing her. She's absolutely perfect in the role and everything. And the only thing that sucks about Luna is each movie that she's in, she seems to have less screen time as each movie goes on and stuff, and she's only in here through the second half of the franchise, so it's kind of not quite as that's one of the main reasons why she's this low and everything. But I absolutely love Luna. I think that, like a lot of characters in the books, they have a lot more to do in the books and everything, but they did a really great job with her in the movie and stuff. Like, they took the main important stuff about her character, stuff I would have loved to see more though. There was a lot more that were in the books that I would have loved to see with Luna more, but I think they did a good job with her in the movies, and she was one of the highlights of those last 4 movies. So she's number 10, and number 9 is Remus Lupin. This is another character that they kind of messed up with in the movies, but I absolutely love Lupin, especially in Prisoner of Azkaban. He's just such a really great character, and I really hate that they kind of didn't really do a lot with him in the other movies and stuff, which he didn't have a huge presence in the other books, but he does still have some important character arcs in Half-Blood Prince, and that they didn't really go into, and then they kind of just skip over a lot of his character arc in Deathly Hallows. But I really still love Lupin. I think David Thewlis, I think is how you say his name, he does excellent playing him, and he just fits the role perfectly. Like, he was perfectly cast, like pretty much everybody in this franchise, and Lupin is just a really likable character. And when I do this list, I'm not just talking necessarily about movies, because I love the books too, and the books are a huge part of why some of these characters would be on here, because the movies just don't do as much with them, if that makes sense. But yeah, so Remus Lupin is number 9, and number 8 is Minerva McGonagall. She's another one of the first characters we see in the franchise, and she's just absolutely lovable. She's one of those characters that, as a kid, I didn't like her as much because how strict she was and everything. And as a kid, of course, when you see strict teachers and stuff, and you're relating to the kids in the movies and stuff, you're like, yeah, she's being a little mean and harsh and stuff. But then, as I got older and stuff, I started appreciating her even more as the franchise went on, and she's just one of my favorite characters. I absolutely love her. I love, like, her sassiness at times too, like some of the scenes when she's just she can be really, really funny and stuff, especially like that scene in Deathly Hallows when Filch is running through the Great Hall saying students out of bed and stuff, and she's like, they're supposed to be out of bed, you idiot, and she tells them to send the Slytherins to the dungeons and stuff. And that she steals the show when she's on screen in that movie, and she's great in all the other movies too, but that one was one of the highlights of it and everything. I just absolutely love her, but she's a really likable character. She's the one that gave Harry his Nimbus 2000, and even though she has that that strictness to her and stuff, she still also has like a big heart. She's really caring and stuff about the students and everything. And I had some teachers that were like that before, so I really like her a lot because she kind of reminds me of some of my old teachers and stuff too. So Minerva McGonagall is number 8, and number 7 is Albus Dumbledore. I really like Dumbledore quite a bit. He's really, really good character. He's kind of that old mentor to Harry and everything, kind of in the vein of like how Obi-Wan was to Luke. And he's really a great character. There's a lot of stuff about him that he has like this mysterious past, which they explore some in the book, and they talk a little bit about it in the movies. They go more into detail in the book, but I'm really curious to see what they're doing with him in the Fantastic Beasts: Secrets of Dumbledore. Curious to see what they do with his past and that, but I love the character, like how although I do think he is a bit unfair and stuff, like he has this bias towards Harry and stuff, like anytime there's like all these jokes and stuff, like anytime someone does something, he gives points to Harry and Gryffindor and stuff. It's just a little recurring joke that goes on in one of my groups and stuff, like how he favors Harry and stuff, which it's kind of funny and stuff. But there are things I like about Dumbledore, and there's things I don't like. Obviously, the stuff with him pretty much raising Harry to be so he can be killed and stuff. I don't like some of the things Dumbledore didn't really do and stuff in the franchise. Like he didn't really help him a lot, but he left him with a bunch of mysteries they had to solve and everything. But at the same time, it is what it is. I like Dumbledore, and I can't really deny that he's great. And as far as the actor who plays him, I know a lot of people have asked me this, which Dumbledore I think is better. I think both Richard Harris and Michael Gambon were both perfect for the two versions they played and everything. Like, I think Harris was perfect for like those first two movies when Dumbledore is more soft-spoken and doesn't really have a lot to do. I think he was perfect for that Dumbledore, but I couldn't really picture him doing a lot of the stuff that Michael Gambon did as Dumbledore later in the franchise, like during that, like especially Half-Blood Prince and that big duel with Voldemort. I don't think would have been near as cool as it was if it was Richard Harris. So I love both of them, but I think I do like Michael Gambon a little bit more. But they're both really great as Dumbledore and everything. But he's number 7, and number 6 is Ron Weasley. Now I know a lot of people would probably have him a lot higher because he's like one of the main 3 characters, and I do like Ron a lot and everything. Although the movies don't do the character as much justice, they take a lot of his best qualities that are in the books and just throw them out the window. Like he has some really good character arc in Order of the Phoenix when he gets to be a prefect and stuff like that, and you don't really get to see that in this movie. I don't, in that movie, where like most of the movies, they take out a lot of the stuff that made Ron who he was and everything, and they kept a lot of the worst aspects of the character in the movies and everything, which I think kind of sucks. He does kind of get that redemption in the last one though, and everything. We kind of get to see more of Ron being the smarter person than they portray him in the movies, because he is a lot smarter in the books than he is in the movies. But I think Rupert Grint was excellent as him, and I think my favorite thing with Ron was the scene when he has that love potion in Half-Blood Prince. He's just absolutely hilarious and everything, and it reminded me of like early Ron when he was a lot more funny and stuff, like in Chamber of Secrets and Sorcerer's Stone, Prisoner of Azkaban. He was a little more funny in those movies and everything, but he is a really likable character, and definitely one of my favorites. He just barely doesn't make it into the top 5. So Ron Weasley is number 6, and number 5 is Sirius Black. If you've watched my reviews and stuff, you know like how much I love Sirius, and some of my biggest issues with Goblet of Fire and Order of the Phoenix is how they handled Sirius's character. He's one of my most favorite characters. In fact, when I was a kid, I used to say that he was my favorite character and everything, but they really kind of cheated him in some of these movies and stuff, because he was in Goblet of Fire way more than he was in the book, or in the book than he was in the movie. And Order of the Phoenix, they did him pretty good, but I still wish they would have done a little bit more of the stuff that was in the book and stuff, showed his personality a little bit more. But they brushed both of those movies, it seemed like. But Sirius is just a really, really likable character. He does have his flaws and stuff. There are things about him I don't like the fact that he bullied Snape and stuff, and like how him and Snape never really got along and everything. He never really stopped seeing the arrogance of his ways of how he treated Snape and everything. But I still like Sirius. I think he's fine and everything. And I think Gary Oldman did a really good job playing him. He's another one of those perfect choices for characters and everything. So Sirius Black is number 5, and number 4 is Rubeus Hagrid. Another one that is very underrated. A lot of people love Hagrid, though. I mean, he's not like underrated amongst fans and stuff, but the people just don't really give him credit as much, though. Like, especially like in the movies, though. Like in the books, like Harry names his kids after all these different characters, including Snape, who he didn't like until after he was dead. But he didn't even name any of them after poor Hagrid. It's like Hagrid was there from the very beginning for you, kid. And he's just a really lovable character. And Robbie Coltrane is absolutely perfect in the role. He nails it to a T. He's just absolutely perfect. And Hagrid is a really, really likable character and stuff. So he's number 4. And number 3 is Severus Snape. Now, this one is actually going to be more the movie version, because the book version of Snape is not very likable, to be honest. That's one of the things that the movie did do that was different from the books, is they made Snape have a more of a different personality than he did in the books, and that's one thing that I will say I absolutely loved about it, because movie Snape is so great, and he's perfectly played by Alan Rickman, who gives probably the best performance in the entire franchise. Like, throughout the whole franchise, knowing everything that's going to happen with Snape and everything, and knowing that he knew everything that was going to happen, you go back and watch his performance in these movies over the course of the 8 movies, you see little subtle hints of him, who he is and stuff throughout the whole movie and everything. And they did such a great job with the movie version of the character. In the books, he's kind of a jerk. At some parts, it's kind of rightfully so. Like the stuff with Sirius, I don't blame him for not wanting to be around Sirius or not getting along with him, wanting revenge on him. 'Cause Sirius did do some really jacked up stuff to him and everything, but he was also a bully to Neville and Harry and stuff like that too. So it was kind of a mixed bag on him in the book, but I really loved him in this movie and his little redemption that we get at the end of it and stuff when we find out his backstory and everything. And it all comes down to Alan Rickman's performance. He just really made the character who he was. And I know that Chris Columbus is talking about doing Harry Potter and the Cursed Child movie, and without saying too many spoilers, I don't know how they're going to be able to get past having Snape in that movie without having Alan Rickman, because there is nobody else that could play him like he did. But yeah, I absolutely love Snape. He's easily one of the best characters in the franchise, so he's number 3. And number 2 is Hermione Granger. I bet most of y'all thought she would be number 1 because of Emma Watson playing her and stuff, because anybody who knows me knows that I'm in love with Emma Watson, but that isn't even the reason why I love Hermione so much. She just is a really, really great character, and she almost is number 1, but I went ahead and put Who's at number 1 at number 1 instead. But I love Hermione. She's a very good character. She's funny at times. She has a really good personality and everything, and like she's a really loyal friend to Harry, and I know a lot of people said that they should have ended up together and stuff, but I love how their friendship was written, like they're brother and sister and everything, and like I love how much she goes through to be there for her friends and stuff in this, and especially in those last 2 movies, and especially Deathly Hallows Part 1, she gave up a lot and everything, and to stick by Harry's side and everything, and she's the kind of friend that most people would want to have and everything, and she's just a really, really great character. So, but she's barely number 2. But my number 1 favorite character in Harry Potter is Harry Potter, of course. Couldn't have the franchise without Harry Potter. I mean, he's the main character and the one that you want to see win against Voldemort. You hate seeing him losing all of his loved ones and everything, all the stuff that he has to go through and everything. That the entire movie is told through his eyes, and he's just absolutely a perfect character. Absolutely love Harry Potter. He's just an excellent character and everything. So I'd say I'd give him easily the number 1 spot, because you can't really have the franchise without this main hero, and Harry Potter is just absolutely perfect. A perfect hero, one of the best leading characters in any movie franchise and everything. Just everything about him is what you want in a good hero for a movie franchise and stuff. So but anyway, yeah, that's my top 10 favorite characters from Harry Potter. Let me know in the comments who your favorite character is. If you want, you can tell me your 10 favorites, or if not, just tell me your most favorite. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.